What's up, guys? Caden here. I am 2 days post-op, and today's actually my 10-month on T as well. But I thought I'd take a minute to kind of go over what surgery was like with Dr. Garramone and like how things have been going the past 2 days. So first of all, I just want to say thank you to everybody that's been reaching out to me constantly asking how I'm doing, and I know you all have a lot of questions. I'm trying to get to them as much as I can, but obviously I'm pretty drained right now. It's a tough recovery, honestly, but so I'm going to try to answer as many of the questions that I've gotten here now, so that can hopefully kind of help some other guys that I know. A couple other guys are coming in like in the next couple days to get surgery and want these questions answered. So I'm going to try and get to them as best I can. The pre-op appointment the day before surgery with Dr. Garramone was awesome. I walked in to his office, the waiting area. His wife is the receptionist, which is really cool. And my surgery day, there were 5 guys having surgery, and 3 of the other 4 were or 2 of them were already there when I walked in the waiting room filling out their paperwork, and I sat down to fill out mine. And then one of the other guys walked in, so there were 4 of us. I haven't seen the 5th guy anywhere. I think he's staying at New Beginnings, so I haven't seen him. So we all filled out paperwork there, and then they kind of put us into the separate back rooms for the pre-ops, where Dr. Garramone just kind of shuffled in between rooms. Only spent about 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes in each room doing that. So he came in and just really, really awesome guy, really nice. I know people say he's robotic and stuff, it's true about the stuff that he says to the point of what he's gonna do. It's all very scripted, but he is a super personable guy. He's really, really nice. Makes you feel really comfortable without even spending that much time with him. So that was really, really cool. So he came in, talked to us about the procedure, went over all the medical history and the forms that we filled out, and then just kind of talked about the prescriptions he'd be writing and the surgery process. So really to get you familiar with that. And then he does an examination of your chest to make sure that everything's all suitable for him to do his operation. And then he takes updated photos. For me, that was important because the photos I had sent him were back in July, so I had a lot of pectoral growth, and I had lost some more weight and things like that, so it was important for him to have updated photos as well. His wife gives you your surgery time, and then you get the option to buy a couple of the things that they recommend for scarring, as well as some recovery vitamins. I bought those from him too. So I ended up spending about $130 at the office on the scar gel and 2 sets of recovery vitamins that I've been taking. I was told to get to the surgery center for 7:30. My surgery was scheduled for 9:30. I didn't get there till about 8, but it wasn't a big deal. So they call you into registration. That's when you pay your remaining fee of $1,300, and you fill out your forms and everything, updated address, emergency contacts, things like that. What they don't tell you is that your $1,300 covers 90 minutes in the OR. If you go anywhere over 90 minutes, every 30 minutes extra, or up to 30 minutes extra, is an extra $200. So even if you go 92 minutes, you're going to be paying $1,500 instead of $1,300. So that's the way that goes. You sign all the forms, and then you get your hospital bracelet, and then you go back out into the waiting room with whoever you're with. And then shortly after that, the nurse will call you to the back, and she'll have you she'll go over your paperwork with you one more time. She'll make you initial a bunch of stuff, and then ask you a bunch of questions that you've already answered 100 times. And then they give you a drug test to make sure there's nothing in your system that'll react with the anesthesia. And then they bring you back to one of the beds in what ends up being the recovery room, actually. But it's just a room with I think there are about 10 beds in there, 10 or 12 beds. And there's people that have just had surgery or people that are waiting to have their surgery. So, and this was all done at a same-day surgery center. It wasn't a full hospital. So that's why everyone's kind of in the same room. So they put me in a bed there. I put the hospital gown on, and then they start your IV with fluids. And then you're just waiting for a while. I mean, Garramone had a patient in there while they put me in there, and they told me it was going to probably be another hour. So even though my surgery was scheduled for 9:30, I didn't end up getting in the OR until about 10:30. But so I was waiting in this bed. They allow you to have a family member come wait with you. I chose to kind of wait by myself because I just kind of wanted to collect myself. But so I was just kind of waiting there. And just like texting people and doing whatever. You can have your phone. And that's when the anesthesiologist comes in and meets with you. You meet him for the first time. Guy was nice, but didn't really get to like talk to him all that much. It was just kind of like he asked a couple basic questions, asked if you have any questions. Then he's like, all right, well, see you in there. And so that was that. And then basically then you just wait for Dr. Garramone to come do your markings. So I waited for him for probably about an hour after the anesthesiologist came. And then once he finally came, he had me take the gown off, and so he could mark up my chest. And so he had me stand like straight up. He told me not to look while he was doing it, because obviously he needed my posture up. So he told me to look straight behind him. And then he just did all the markings of everything that he was going to take off, and then where he was going to put the nipples and everything like that. And then he told me I could look, and then he also drew on his glove the size of the nipple that he was going to put on me, and then showed me where he would put it. So that was that whole process there, and then you put your thing back on, and you lay back down, and then he went and marked up somebody else just because he was behind schedule. But then he goes and gets the OR ready for you. So the nurses came very shortly after he marked me up to give. I already had an IV in, but right before they wheeled me in, they put part of the anesthetic in my IV, and then two nurses started to wheel me to the OR. I was awake through that whole thing. I didn't feel weird. So I asked them. I was like, "Is the anesthetic in it already?" And they were like, "Some of it, but not all of it." So we got to the OR. They had me get onto the other table, or to the surgery table, and then they put a mask over my face. And I remember telling them that the mask wasn't completely over my mouth, so they should probably adjust it. And then once they adjusted it, I remember laughing a little bit because the anesthesiologist was singing a song. I don't remember what it was at this moment, but he was singing. I remember laughing about it, and then the next thing I know, I woke up in the recovery room. So I didn't remember anything. Didn't know when they put the anesthetic in, nothing like that. And then I just remember being kind of woken up slowly by the nurse. She was really, really nice, and she was like, "Yeah, let me get you some water and some cookies, and I'll give you some painkillers." So it took a while. There was a long story. There was a lady next to me, in the bed next to me, that was having a lot of problems and crying and stuff. So it actually took them a while to get me my painkillers and stuff. So that sucked. Once she did. So she gives you water, she gives you some cookies to snack on, and gives you your painkiller. And then I didn't have any nausea when I woke up, luckily. Still, I've only had to take my nausea med one time. So it really haven't had any. She helps you get dressed in the clothes that you came in, and then moves you into a recliner. And then that's when she invites your family to come back and see you. So my family visited in shifts of two. It was my mom, my dad, and then my stepdad and my brother came in. And then once you're feeling up to it and you're ready, the nurse shows you how to empty your drains. So she did one, and then she watched my mom do one to make sure that we knew how to do it. And then they walk you out to your car. They had my stepdad go bring the car around, and my mom and the nurse walked me out and put me in the car. Give you guys a little bit more later, but I just wanted to kind of explain what the surgery process was like. If you have any specific questions, feel free to reach out to me. Other than that, I will make a video a little later. See you guys.